You are very welcome to this session of Professional CV Writing. My name is Alan from Professional Writers, where we specialize in writing all kinds of professional documents, including professional CVs and resumes, project proposals, research proposals, and all kinds of professional documents. In this training, we are going to be showing you how we write a professional CV. Now, what exactly is a professional CV? And let alone, what is a CV? A CV is a document that talks about you. It's a document that has information about you. It could have information about your name, your contact information, where you have worked, your professional experience, and any information that is relevant about you. And a CV is used in most cases to for you to enter into specific programs, for instance, or sometimes other jobs might ask you for a CV if you are applying for a job. However, there is something that we call a resume. So a resume is an extract from that CV that is going to extract information that is relevant to the job opportunity that you are trying to seek for. For instance, if you are an accountant and you are working at a bank, and maybe you want to change your job and go and work at an insurance firm, you are going to write a resume. So your CV is already existent, but you're going to write a resume, and a resume is an extract from that CV, the information that is relevant to insurance in this case. So you're going to be talking about your information, your name, your contact details, your experience. But in the part of experience, you're going to be talking more about the relevant experience, which is relevant to the new job opportunity that you are trying to seek out for. The biggest mistake that so many people I see making is that when they are applying for jobs, they are talking about everything that has happened in their lives. And you are even explaining some kind of experience which is not relevant to the new job opportunity that you are trying to seek for. So when you are writing a resume and your intention is to seek for a new job opportunity, what you have to be fronting mostly is the experience that you have that is relevant to that new job opportunity, and not just each and every experience and put everywhere you have worked. In this training, we are going to be focusing more on documents that we use for seeking new job opportunities, and that is a resume. So some ground rules is that a resume should not exceed 2 pages. A resume should not exceed 2 pages. A good resume is between 1 to 2 pages. And the resume that we are going to be writing is only going to be 2 pages. And it is very important because you are competing with so many people. And for instance, the human resource department in the company is receiving over thousands of resumes. So if yours is very long, it might be very difficult for even the HR to go through it and read it very carefully. So you need to only put the relevant information, only the relevant information, not each and everything about yourself. Now, how do we do this? We are going to need some of the tools to come up with a professional resume. You can call it a professional CV if you want, but what we are writing is the document that you're going to put out there to seek for a new job opportunity. And the most right way of calling it is a resume. So now, we are going to need the information about you. That is the first thing. We are going to need a picture of yourself. We are going to need an internet connection. Okay. And then you're going to need a computer and some basic skills of word processing and writing with a computer. Those are the basically 4 tools that you're going to need. So you can have this in 2 ways. We can use Microsoft Word, which is the commonest software. And I'm assuming that even on your computer, you have literally interacted with Microsoft Word. Or we can use another tool. And in this training, we are going to use a tool called Canva. And I've chosen Canva because it already has pre-existing templates for a professional resume. Okay, so with that, I think let's go ahead and dive in. But before we even go to the tools that we are going to use, we are going to need to organize our information. And to organize our information, we are going to put it in a template. I already put the link to the template in the description of this video. I also shared it in our group. If you got it from the WhatsApp group, it's okay. You need to make sure that the information that you have answers all the questions that are asked in that template. That is the template that we use at Professional Writers when other people ask us to write for them a professional resume. If you already have information that fits the issues that are being asked in the CV, in the template, then you don't need to write another template. But if you don't have, you can just fill that template first. And it's very important to fill the template because after we have filled the template, we're just going to just copy and paste in the other tool where we are going to be professionalizing the look and feel. So let me first show you what the template looks like. Okay, so this is the professional resume information collection template from Professional Writers. And every time anybody asks us to write for them a professional resume, this is what we send them. And we send you such a document so you can fill it and send it back to us. But now for your case, I'm going to just give it to you. You can fill it and then you can use it yourself to create your own professional resume. So this is where it starts by asking for your information. So you can see that the information that we are going to include in our CV or professional resume is going to include your full names. So your full names, you're just going to write here what your full names are. Maybe for my case, Alan Mutasa. You write your phone number, you write your email address, physical location, and these are the most important ones. And then if you want, you can also include your LinkedIn profile. That's optional. You can also include a website. Sometimes some people have, like you could be very good at website creation, or you could be very good at a certain service, and maybe you want to include some of the works that you have done on a certain website. So you could even include that in your resume, such that when your employer or your future employer reads it, they might be compelled, to read more about your works and probably give you the job. The next thing, we're going to be talking about your educational background. And in the educational background, you're going to write your institution, the country where the institution is, the award that you received from that institution, the month when you started to be at that institution, the year. This is month and year when you started, and then month and year when you completed. So the way you see this, the way this is structured is that we want the most recent education background to appear up, the most recent, but also the most relevant. But for instance, if a company is asking for an accountant, for the example I had given earlier, and they want an accountant, in most cases, the educational background is going to be the same. So you can put the most relevant, the most recent. So if you have a master's that you just got recently, you put it up here, and then you go down as you go. So you're going to put all your educational background in such a table. And then after that, we are going to do the professional work experience. So in work experience, we need the institution where you worked, the country where that institution is, the designation or the position, what were you called when you're working there, and then when you started working there, the month and the year, and then when you completed the month and the year, and then the key accomplishments that you did. So the key accomplishments are going to be your experience. That's what you did there. And the easiest place to pick these is from your job description. So if you have a job description for those positions, you can go ahead and pick some of the things you're supposed to do. And I'm assuming you did them here. Now, you also need a professional title. So your professional title, you could be an accountant, you could be something, you could be a doctor, you could be a nurse, you could be a soldier, you could anything, as long as it is your professional title. And then you can talk about the languages that you speak, the language here, and then fluency. It can be basic, it can be intermediate, or it can be advanced. So you list all the languages there. And then you can talk about the referees. So the referees, you put the referee name, where the referee works, the designation or the position of the referee at that workplace, their phone number, and then their email address. That's very important. And then you can also talk about any other trainings. So any other training sometimes is an optional part, but it's also sometimes very important, depending on the kind of job that you're applying for. So you will put the institution where you had that other training, the country, the award, when you started, when you finished. So these are other trainings. Other trainings are, in most cases, shorter courses that you did, or these 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, these trainings that are less than 12 months. Those are other trainings, and we can reserve a session for them. We can also put special skills. These are skills that you have honed from the different areas that you've been working. So you can also put those there. And then you can also talk about any other information if you want. But most important is we need to see your contact information, educational background, professional background, the languages that you speak, and your referees. And then these are others that can be optional. And all this information should fit on 2 pages. It's important that you make sure that this information fits on 2 pages. All right. So I am assuming you have all this information ready because I already shared this template. And even if you don't have it in the format of this template, but it is there somewhere. So if you already have the information, we are just going to be copying it and pasting it into the template of the professional resume template. So as I said, we are going to be using a website called Canva. So you go to your favorite browser and type in canva.com. Canva.com. So when you open, you're going to get something which is similar to that. And when you look here, you're going to get something called sign up. You see that? Sign up. So you can click on sign up. And then you can continue here with another account, because for me, I had already signed up. So you can continue with Google if you have Google, or with Facebook, or you continue with an email, or you can choose another way, continue with Google. And then you can choose an account. For instance, I could choose Professional Writers as the account. Then you put the password of that account, click next, and your account will be opened. So if you open your account, it is going to look something like this when you have signed up and signed in. And you're going to have the login button is not going to show up here because it shows that you have already signed in. So when you open this window, you're going to come to the search bar and you're going to put in what you want. So as you can see, I have been doing a lot of things here. Let me assume you're an accountant, for instance. You can just put in accountant CV or accountant resume. And then you click Canva templates and search. So when you search, you're going to get a list of so many already existing templates. So you can go through these slowly by slowly, and then you can choose one that you think is very nice, looks nice for you. So note that we have both the free and the premium templates. Like if you see a small pro icon here, that means it's pro, so you have to pay for that. But there are so many free ones that you don't have to pay for, like this one. Let me choose this. So this is a template, you see? And even after you choose this, they even give you other templates that look something like it. You see? Now take a look at this, for instance. There are so many. So you can just look at this and choose any that you want. And you can go ahead and customize this template. Okay. So when you customize this template, you're going to get a window which looks something like this. So that is the window that you're going to get after you've customized the template. Just share this alone. So I'll just make it a bit big. So you see that we have a name, the professional title, we have the contact details, and this is what we are going to fill. And I'm going to be showing you how we fill this. So as we said earlier on, the first thing you're going to do is to ask yourself, how many experience points do you have? And by experience points, I mean, how many places have you worked so far altogether? How many places have you worked in? So if you have worked in say 5 places, you are going to you're going to create 5 experience points. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to clean this. So if you've just worked in a few places, you can have a resume of 1 page. It's always enough. But if you have worked in 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 many places, then you can have more than 1 page as your resume. So let me just duplicate this page. So to duplicate is to create another page which looks just like this one. So you can zoom it from here such that it becomes bigger. So the first thing I can do, maybe I can just put this a little bit up, and this, and this. So you can just follow through this as you try with your own. I'll just make sure I take the line. Okay. Okay, so I am going to duplicate this whole page. So duplicate is here. Duplicate. So to duplicate is to create another page that looks like this one. And I am going to clean this first. So I need to ask myself, how many experience points do I have? So experience points is the number of places that I have worked. For this example, I am going to assume that I've worked in 3 different companies. So let me first leave only the first one up. Delete this, delete, I'm deleting, delete all this. Delete, delete, delete. Okay. So I have this one as my first experience point, and I'm assuming that it is going to cover this area. And I also have, this one, pull it down a bit. Just a bit. So just see that it is, matching. Let me pull the profile up a bit. So this is going to be the profile. It is also called an about me. So this is where you just write about yourself. And we're going to have the work experience existing here. So this side is going to be for the work experience. So I'm going to reserve it for the work experience. And I remove everything that is not work experience. Okay, so I just pull it up a bit. Yeah. Yeah. So we can remove all these, just remove these, remove these. So this is cleaning the template. So we can clean the template like that. And we can leave the referees down. We can call them referees. Okay, so now when I go up, the first thing I'm going to do is to put my name here. So you can just type your name there. And let me say we are writing about an accountant. This is just dummy information. It's not actual information for this person. So this person is an accountant. Now I'm going to upload a photo of this person here. And to do that, I'm going to go to Elements, Uploads. Sorry, I'm going to go to Uploads. And in Uploads, you see that for me, I already uploaded most images here. But if you don't have an image uploaded, you can go and say Upload Files, and then you go to where the file is. Maybe if it's in a desktop, you can then go and pick it from there, and it will upload. But for my case, I already have so many images, so I'll just use a sample. So when you click on it, it comes here, and you're just going to carry it and put it there. So it enters in there. So this is you already. Now we're going to fill the contact information. So this is the contact information. You can just fill, starting with the code of the country. Remember, this is just dummy information. So I'm assuming that you're filling this with your own information. This is my email. This is where I live. This is my website. But this is, this is an optional. This is really optional. You can omit it if you don't have this. And since most people don't have this, if you had it, you could put your website here, but you don't need this. If you have a LinkedIn profile, you could also put it there. So you can just remove that. So you see, very easy. Just pull that up a bit. And now we are going to be feeding in our education background. And this is where it is very important that you filled the template. So if you filled the template, you already have the information somewhere. So for my case, I already have my information somewhere. So I can just go and copy and paste from my template to from my information collection template to the professional resume template. So as you can see, we said that you're going to start with when you were there. These are the years when you were at that institution. So you'll see that in Canva, every template comes different. So you need to make sure you update the template such that it has all the information that you might need. So now for my case, I'll say that I'm just copying this from, I was here, this is right click and paste. I just copy it from my template between November 2020 and May 2023. Okay. This is information from my template. Just copied and pasted it here, like the way you're going to do. And then I'm going to put the institution here. Let me go to my template. The institution was Makerere University. I can just position it very well. Yeah. That's the institution. And then I'm going to put in the award. So in my case, I'll put in the award, which is a master's degree in business administration. So for instance, if you, in your case, you're going to fill the year when you started, the month and year, the month when you started and the year, the month when you started, you finished and the year. The institution, this is Makerere University, Uganda. So you put the institution and the country where the institution is, and then you go ahead and put the award. So when you fill the first education point, we are going to make sure that we group these three such that they move together. So for instance, we could say this and this and this. So to do that, you put your mouse here and click on, then hold the shift button, click here and still hold the shift button and click there. You see that it creates that box. And then when you leave the leave the shift button, you will see a group button here. So just group. So I've clicked group. So when I click group, I can delete these. And why am I deleting those? Because I just want to copy and paste this format. So to copy and paste this format, you're going to go here and click on your Control-Alt button together, Control-Alt, and then you can just move this like that. You see? You can just move this. Or alternatively, you can just, if you don't want to do that, I'll just show you how to do it. You can just duplicate it. But the problem is when you duplicate, you have to make sure that you're duplicating only this part. Oh, oops. Looks like duplicating might not work. So we are going to just use the hold, Control-Alt. So just click, Control-Alt, and move like that. So you're going to put all your education points here. And the best practice is that you put your education points and the language on the first page. So let's remove the skills. The skills are going to come on the next page. So let's say you have 1, 2, 3. So this is Control-Alt, Control-Alt, Control-Alt. So you can just position this a bit in line, position in line, position in line, and position in line. Okay. So now we are going to fill the different things that we did here. So for instance, I can go ahead and fill that maybe from February, you fill this, just copy and paste there. You see, from February 2016 to April 2019. I'm just taking this from my information collection template. I was still at Makerere University, Uganda, and then I attained a bachelor's. Okay. So this was the first one. This is the second one. So depending on the number of education points that you have, you can fill as many as you want here. So for me, this was my master's. This was my bachelor's. Maybe this could be my diploma. This could be my high school. This could be. So depending on the education points that you want to fill, you can put all these here. So this is just information, and this is the part where you're going to fill your own information. So I'm just going to leave it at that for demonstration purposes, but you're going to be changing all these to fit your own, information. Then let's come to languages. So for languages, you already have these ones here. So depending on the languages that you speak, maybe you speak English, you speak French, you speak German, you speak Spanish. Most importantly, don't just put any languages here. What are the relevant languages for this job opportunity? You could be getting a job in another country where you're going to be interacting with clients in a local language. So your employer is very interested to know if you have any background in that language. So if you're going to a new area, a new region where a local language is spoken, your employer might be interested to know if you speak it. So you can put the languages that you speak here. Say if you speak English fluently, you put fluent. French, like that. So you can just change this and put the languages that you speak. Okay. So since we have duplicated this, we just duplicated this. I'm going to delete this. Let's click on it and delete it. And now we are going to have other things appearing here. So the first thing we could have is other trainings that you attended. Other trainings. So just remove this. This is what was up there. These are other trainings. Let's make sure this is long enough. So I'm just going to get down here and borrow this such that I remain with the format. Just put it here. So now these are the shorter trainings that you attended. So up here, we've been talking about the actual courses, the real long courses that you attended that are in line with the job opportunity that you're asking for. But now we're going to go down and talk about the other relevant trainings. Please don't include irrelevant trainings here. The example I gave you that an accountant who is crossing from being a banker to working in insurance is going to talk about the relevant trainings here that are in line with insurance, not other trainings that are not relevant. So for my case, I'm just going to put an example from my template. Let me just copy from my template and put it up. So I'm just going to paste here. Okay, so when I paste, I'm just going to remove the bullets. Just remove the bullets. So depending on the number of trainings that you had, you can see a way of putting them here. Okay. So then I can now bullet them well. You see, I can just pull this back. And then I can also go to the spacing and make sure the spacing is a little closer so it can fit. See? So this is other training. So as you can see, the training is communication. The institute is Hudson Institute, and from Feb 2013 to April 2013. You know, sales on steroids, customer care, intelligent rights. So you put the trick is to put the training, the institute where you attended the training, and how long the training took you. You know, so this is what we are doing mostly. So you can do that for all of the training that you had, put them there in such a manner. So after you've done that, we are going to talk about your skills. No, we can call them skills. So just remove this. You see that the goal is to not have this thing overcrowded, but to make sure it looks so beautiful and very easy for whoever is going to read it to just skim it very fast and then consider if they're going to give us a job. So we want to put here our skills. So just go to your template that you filled and copy your skills. Let me go and copy my skills and paste them here. See that? So these are my skills: communication, integrity, decision making. So what is most important here is that your most relevant skill should come up. So the skill that is in line with the job opportunity that you're trying to ask for should show up first. Because remember, the person who is reading this document is reading very many other documents for other people. So we want to see we want to show them what they want to see very fast as soon as they open our documents. So you can put in all the relevant. It is very important to say relevant skills there. So we have our skills here, we have our other trainings there, we have our languages, we have our education, and we have our contact. So the left bar is filled. So now we have our referees here, and now we're going to put our experience here. So before we actually put our experience, we're going to put a profile. So what is a profile? A profile is that small paragraph that describes you in general. Take a look at my profile from my resume. So let me just copy it from my template. And I paste it here. Let me make it a bit squeezed so it can fit there. So you see that a profile is this first paragraph that talks about you, and you have to praise yourself a bit in that first paragraph because it is the first thing that your employer is going to read. So for instance, I am a highly motivated and accomplished banking professional with a proven track record in the industry. With a strong foundation in lending operations and credit management, I possess excellent analytical skills that allow me to make informed strategic decisions, blah, 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 blah. Now, when you're writing this profile, it is very important that you put the job that you're applying for in mind, such that the profile you write is bending towards, the job that you're applying for. It is very important that whoever is reading this feels like you are very relevant to their company than you being relevant as a general, for instance, a general accountant. But we want someone who is who has skills that are going to fit within the company that we have. So you're going to write a profile about you, and I know that the person who knows best about you is yourself. Okay, so you can easily write about yourself and come up with a statement that looks something like that. So remember that we cleaned this template and we only left one work experience. So we are going to go back. So we are going to go back and we are going to fill this. So let's start with the company where you work, where you worked. So this is work experience. But as I said earlier, that the most relevant work experience should come up first, not necessarily the most recent. And the reason we do this is when people are reading, they read from up to down. If you put the most relevant experience down, then they will first read the irrelevant experiences, and they might not, if they read two relevant experiences, they might not continue to the third. So we want to first put the relevant experience up, and then the last, not very relevant, can come down if you have them. But it's very important that you just stick to the relevant experience. So let me just give you an example. Let me go to my template. And I say that from December, let me start with the timeline. From December 2022 to date, I worked at, where did I work? I worked at Exim Bank. Exim Bank. Exim Bank. And I worked there as, this is the position. And I worked there as a branch manager. Branch manager. And then what happened as I was working there? So this is now the most important thing. So we are going to summarize your what you did, when you were at that place. And we put it in one paragraph. You can also put it as bullet points if you want, but I like putting it in one paragraph. And to do this, the cheat sheet is for you to look at your job description and make a single paragraph of what you were supposed to do generally. So let me show you how this looks in my paragraph. So this is a summary of what I did at Exim Bank. So in my role as branch manager, I provided strategic leadership in overseeing the day-to-day operations. So I got this from the job description because the job description was you are going to be providing strategic leadership in overseeing day-to-day operations. So I did that. You just turn that to past tense. But make sure that the tense corresponds with the date. If you're saying that you worked from December 2022 to date, this should be in present tense. So you should be saying, my role as a branch manager, I provide strategic leadership in overseeing the day-to-day operations, like what you do currently. But if you're not working, you don't have a to-date work experience, then it's going to be in past tense. Okay, so that is good to know. So I'm talking about everything that I did. What I did here is just get my JD and turn it into a single paragraph, and then you can also do that. So you can have an experience point here. If you worked in so many places, you can squeeze this a bit from here. See? Such that you can put another experience point here. Maybe you can put 1, 2 here, and then 3 on the next page. Okay? But just for demonstration, let me just put 1 here. And I can play with the spacing, with the font size, When the font size is big, it covers. Or you can even increase the font size of this and then push this down a bit such that you cover this space. It's just, playing around with this template. Play around with the template such that it feels like, I don't want this template to feel like it's packed with a lot of information. Then it demotivates whoever is going to read it. So this is the first experience point. So I'm going to copy this experience point and paste it on the other pages. So let me first do the other thing that we did earlier, grouping. So this, shift button, this, shift button, this, shift button, that. And then a box will come and you'll say group. So when you group that, you're going to put your cursor here, and you will say Control Alt, and then you're going to move this down here. So you're just going to move it down there. Let it be on the same line with this. So when you move it down, we are going to get another experience point that you have and place it there. So let me just go to my template again. And maybe I say that from December 2018 to maybe December 2020. So you'll fill up the information there. So if you see that it is the information that you're filling in is longer than the information that you already have, you can first ungroup and restructure each of these. Just pull this up a bit like that. And then you put your bank here or the institution where you worked. So for my case, I'll just put Bank of Africa. And I was there as a relationship officer. Okay. And I still do the same thing. Go to my JD, summarize it, put it in one paragraph. Or if you don't want to put it in one paragraph, you can use bullet points. But I find that paragraphing makes it look more professional. Okay. See that? And then I'll group this back again the same way. Group. Then I'll copy and paste this thing, the whole of it here. So I can remove some information. Okay, before I even remove, let me just get the information from the next experience point. So from February 2022, let me just ungroup this. Ungroup it. And I worked at Tropical Bank. Maybe as a loans officer. Loans officer. So just copy and paste the experience that I got in that place. See that? So I have that there. I can just pull this line a bit down so that it continues down. So formality, it looks good. No, I have this. So these little dots are going to represent where my experience point is starting, like that. And these little dots, also, I want it to go and represent where my experience point is going to start. Take it up. Very easy, very, very easy. Then pull back this line there. See that? So you see, if I make it smaller, how it has started to take shape. Now we shall come to the referees. So referees, we want to put the name of the referee and where they work, the position they work as, their phone number, and their email. So we can put them here. You can even go ahead if you have more than one referee and do this. And you can put all your referees. You can put the third. You could even do this group and put this here such that your bottom is full of of referees. You can just get creative. Let's get creative. Put your referees under there. So the only thing you're going to do is just come, replace this name, replace this workplace, replace the position, the phone number, and email. And then you can have something that looks like that. How does that look? Looks nice to me. So we have a basic template of our resume. Most importantly, we are writing this resume in relationship to the job opportunity that we are trying to seek. It should not exceed more than 2 pages. It should have only the relevant information. The relevant information is the information that relates to the job opportunity that you are trying to ask for. So this is pretty much how you can do it. You can go ahead and play with any of these things. You can add more. If you worked in more places, you can put maybe 2 experience points up there, and maybe other 4 experience points at the other page, or you depending on how your work experience is. So most importantly, you need to know about your work experience, because it determines how big your CV is going to look like. So you can have something of the sort. So you can put referees here. You can put them this side. You can play around with this template in any way that you want. So after you've done that, you can go and download it. So to download, you can come and say File and go to Download. See that? Download. So downloading, you can choose PDF, the way it is chosen there. Then you can download. So it will download, and then you can have your professional resume fully done, and you can send it for, you can send it to your, where you're applying it from. So thank you so much for really taking this training. It's important that you've learned how to come out with your own, your own resume. So with this, let me just do this a bit. So thank you so much for really taking time to understand how to come up with your own resume. I really hope and believe that it has been a fruitful session. And I know that this is just the starting point. You only get better as you write many, many resumes. Every time you're going to ask for a new job opportunity, you need to make sure that you paraphrase and improve your resume to speak to the new job opportunity that you're writing. If you feel that you still need help with writing your resume or your CV, we are here at Professional Writers. We can do it for you. Or if you want a more one-on-one comprehensive training of how to do it, we can still give you that one-on-one training. Or if you want to learn how to do this with Microsoft Word and you're not interested in doing it with a website, with a certain website or another third-party software, we can still help you to still do it. Okay? So thank you so much for listening to me, and hope this has been a training that is going to help you come up with your own resume. Say